Hi guys, Josh from Films Go here, and welcome to Movie News, where I give you the top stories in the world of movies today. So our first story starts off with the DC Universe. So originally when Dawn of Justice was announced, the producers and directing staff announced that the movie world and the TV world would be separate from each other. However, Geoff Johns, who's the creative executive producer for DC Entertainment, has come out and teased to hardcore fans that the idea of a parallel or a multiverse for the DC Universe is definitely a possibility. On his Fatman on Batman podcast, Kevin Smith discussed the Dawn of Justice special, which released exclusive information to fans regarding the upcoming films. On the podcast, Kevin Smith discusses a segment that was actually removed from the DC special. And this is when he's talking to Johns regarding a multiverse itself. So Smith is quoted as saying, "We did a piece where we talked about, I don't know how much I'm supposed to say because they cut it out, but the idea came up of, hey man, DC is known for nothing if not a multiverse." So at which point I was like, could they fucking cross over? And he was like, ah. So doors are being left open and stuff like that. And personally, I think it could work, but it depends on how they do it. Like on Earth 2, whether they're gonna make it like there's a separate Barry Allen in different Earths or in different parallel dimensions, because obviously there's Barry Allen on the Flash CW show, and we have the Green Arrow. However, they just announced that the Flash character for the upcoming movie is also gonna be Barry Allen. So if we have a multiverse and parallel dimensions like they're talking about, it's gonna be weird to see the show and the movies cross over or have a crossover segment if there's two characters existing at the same time. So it depends on how they tackle it, I think. So our second bit of movie news today, Chloe Moretz warns her fans not to see the fifth wave. And why is this? Because of the East Coast storm. Now she took to Twitter and said this: "Fans on the East Coast, please stay safe and warm. At Fifth Wave will be in theaters next week. Your safety is my main concern. Hashtag stay safe." Now personally, I think she's trying to keep her fans safe from seeing her shitty movie, but she didn't warn me before I went and saw it, that's for sure. Now for our next bit of movie news, when the original posters for the Dawn of Justice were released, they were shown excluding two main characters from the Justice League, and those characters were Martian Manhunter and a Green Lantern. So during the DC special that I was talking about earlier, they released concept art, video, interviews with the actors playing the characters in the movies, and it was actually confirmed that the Green Lantern corpse will exist in this universe. Now obviously it hasn't been confirmed if it's going to be Hal Jordan, John Stewart, or just the corpse in general. Now I wouldn't mind seeing John Stewart, however, it'd be cool to see DC include just the Green Lantern Corps as a whole. So we get appearances from Hal Jordan, John Stewart, and all of our favorite Green Lantern Corps characters, and obviously Yellow Corps, Red Corps, Blue Corps. Now our next bit of news doesn't have to do with movies or television, but actually the video game world itself. Now with the popularity of the Walking Dead franchise on the rise, rights for video games have been erupting all over the place. So we have the Telltale games, we had the game that was made by the company that I don't even know because of how bad it was. Now if you're a fan of the Payday franchise, which I am, you'll be a big fan of this news. Overkill are in the works of making a first-person shooter revolving around the Walking Dead universe. Now originally the concepts and the teasers for this game were released in 2014, and they said that the game would be released this year. However, Overkill has taken a small investment from Smilegate, which is the company who created Crossfire, one of the most played first-person shooter games that is online based in the world. Now this is a Korean company, and they have pushed the release date to 2017. Now I don't mind this. I'd rather them take their time and develop a really, really good first-person shooter for the Walking Dead franchise, because I think that would be cool to see it, to explore, just to see some of our characters in a more interactive based, whereas you have the Telltale games where you pick obviously your dialogue, and that's more of a dialogue driven video game. I think it'd be cool to see a video game driven by your personal actions and what you would do in the world of The Walking Dead itself. And for our last bit of movie news today, this is for all you X-Men fans out there. Now following the events of Days of Futures Past, it seemed like the threats and stakes for our characters couldn't get any higher. But in the upcoming X-Men film, X-Men Apocalypse, our heroes will be going up against Apocalypse, who is what our modern day version of gods have been depicted from. Now our main focus today is actually going to be around Magneto's character. So in an interview recently with Screen Rant, Michael Fassbender released some critical and key information about Magneto. So he revealed that the relationship between Charles, Raven, and Hank is going to be thoroughly explored in the upcoming movie, and they have to rekindle the relationship they once had, obviously prior to X-Men First Class. And he also revealed some important information about his own character himself. And he went to saying that Magneto will be working in a factory in this upcoming movie, in the beginning at least. He'll be working in a factory, and he won't be using his powers. He's almost putting himself in a penance, and is making himself work labor while not using his powers, so he actually has to use his own body and make his own body feel pain. And I think that's very interesting for the character of Magneto himself. You've never really seen his character not use his powers before and kind of punish himself for the actions he's done. And I think that would take his character a lot farther in this next movie. Obviously with Apocalypse coming, and if you haven't read the comics, then you won't know that Magneto's actually one of Apocalypse's 4 horsemen. So I think it'll be interesting to see how Eric, or Magneto as you want to call him, goes from being someone who is punishing himself for the actions he's done to becoming one of the horsemen of Apocalypse. I think that would be really, really cool to see how that change, how that switch comes of the character. Now guys, I kind of want to hear back from you. Now, do you think it'll be good for DC Entertainment to cross their TV and movie universes? Also, do you think it's good character progression for Magneto not to be using his powers and to be punishing himself for what he's done in Days of Futures Past? And I also want to know, guys, would you rather see, as I was mentioning before, the Green Lantern's Corps as a whole, or would you rather see a specific character such as John Stewart or Hal Jordan? Just let me know, guys, in the comments below. If you liked what you see in here and you want to see more, click the red subscribe button to see more. I'll be posting videos every day, guys. Thank you and have a good one.